This video is about projection and how important it is for us to understand that when someone's showing us anger or fear and they're putting it on to us, like somehow we're taking that, it's their stuff. But that's the hardest thing to know, though, when you are in an intimate, emotional kind of relationship. It's easy to do that almost like with your friends, you know, where you're getting into this consciousness stuff and you're like, okay, no, that, you know, that's my stuff, or, you know, that's your stuff. Like we can own up to the things, like our emotions. But when it comes to a person in an intimate context, it's hard to do that even more. Because that's when we bring up our deepest wounds of betrayal, abandonment, or whatever it is. Deep, deep in our childhoods, there's all this fear, this anger that comes out. See, it's like abandonment, betrayal, whatever that is down here. On here, it's like the emotions are fear and the emotions are anger, and they're putting it onto us. And right away, we're just like, what the hell's going on? Like, you know, what's going on? And then usually it gets into this big fight, because if we're attracting that person with those issues, we have our own issues, whatever that is. We're angry about something, we're afraid of something. Deep, deep down, there's always this root reason. And so there's this level of pain invited, surfaced. And then you're in this conflict, in this chaos with this person. And it's so important to understand projection, because they're simply projecting their pain onto us. And then if we're getting mad back, we're projecting. It's so important to step back and be like, this is really my stuff. That's how you can take your power back. But it's so hard, because when we're in the midst of it, we don't even know that we're projecting. And that everyone does this. You know, we carry on generational emotional pain because of projection. If you think of our grandparents, they've been through stuff. They projected stuff onto our parents, and our parents are introjecting and taking that in, and they learn all these ways of being, right? And then they're like projecting it onto us. But it's really about, you know, how do we become conscious enough to stop that pattern of projection? How do we own up to our own pain? Because that's really what's going to start to heal ourselves and people, is when we can stop this cycle, this pattern of projection going forward. And then sometimes, you know, depending on what we've been through, that's the hardest thing to do. Because we'll either project it or we'll close up and we will hide. And both is painful. Both sides are painful. Where we are completely, I mean, this is not my challenge, but I know people that they've been so hurt that instead of dealing with it, they'll close up. And then there's the other end, the other person who just keeps projecting and going crazy. And that was me before, for the longest time. And we're doing it on smaller scales in relationships. So like these chaotic relationships with insecure attachments, with all these fear of abandonment and like whatever it is, right? It's all these little pains in our childhood, in an intimate relationship, why relationships break up. And then on a larger scale, we're seeing this all over the world. Everyone's shadows just everywhere. I think that the wars that we see is just a massive collective pain. And if we ever want world peace, it really begins with individual peace. And that's really owning up to our own pain. So if we can own up to our own pain, then we are, one by one, we're healing the world. That's what I feel like that's what it means when it says heal yourself, heal the world, be the change you want to see in the world. Is really about, the first step is just being friggin' responsible for your own pain and stopping this pattern of consciously like seeing this pattern projection and like stopping it and be like, oh, I can feel this, I can allow this, I can stop it by allowing it to surface and to be dealt with right now.